be different. The reason why it's a little bit different is because we're tapping into a whole like another realm. Not only are we tapping into another realm, we're tapping into a realm with purpose, with meaning, which is definitely a good look as well, right? So today, what do we have?
We got our brother Excel.
Alright, inshallah clothing, right?
Yes, sir.
Nice.
Yes, sir. Thanks for being here, my brother.
All right, no doubt.
Well, actually, thanks for having us here in your space.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
We done ran in on your photo shoot. You know what I mean? See you getting it, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Alright, so let's just jump right into it first of all for your beginnings, right? How did this all come about? Inshallah, the meaning behind it, so forth and so on. Now, I know for a fact, when I go places, before I even knew you, I'll see your clothes, right?
Okay.
I'll see your pieces, and that's when I knew, like, oh snap, you know. And then now we have mutual friends, and actually we met at the book club.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
And then we got a chance to chop it up there. So again, it's good to have you here now, where I can dig deep, or we can dig deeper into like what you're doing.
Absolutely.
And of course your people's too, and they can really dig deeper into you as a person, not just somebody who does clothes and deals with fabric. They get to see you.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
So again, your beginnings, tell us about that. How did that come off?
Well, actually, I was in footwear for a long time.
Sneakers.
And also shoes,
Actually,
right?
women's shoes.
Yes. Talk about
I remember that. Okay, with heels and whatnot, right? Yeah, okay.
And so basically with that, I worked at 9 West. It was based here in Stanford, where I grew up.
Okay.
And started there in the mailroom. And I basically took a job there in the mailroom because I was going to Berkeley College for fashion merchandising at the time, and I couldn't afford to go. So I kind of stopped, and I was looking for a job. And a friend of mine worked at 9 West. He was like, "Well, come through. They hiring, in the mailroom, see what we could do, whatever." So I went there, and I started temping there. I was actually working for a temp agency within 9 West. And so I was working HR temping, and then I went to the mailroom. And while I was working in the mailroom, I applied for FIT, go back to school, because now I was making some money. I was like, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna make money and put myself back in school. So 9 West had this dope program. After you were there for a year, if you applied or went to school for anything related to fashion, they had a reimbursement program.
Okay.
So if you got an A, you got 100% back.
Wow.
If you got a B, you got 75%.
Right.
You got a C, you know what I mean? And so I just enrolled in FIT, started taking courses, and whatever classes I took, I tried to get A's or B's. You know what I mean? So I could get the money back. So it was like re-ing up. I invested, I got the money back. I reinvested, got the money back.
Okay.
And basically that's what I did. And I was probably in the mailroom for maybe about a year.
Okay.
But in the mailroom, it was dope though for me.
Why is that?
Because I'm delivering the mail to everybody in the building.
Network. You get to
Not
meet a
just
lot of
network,
different people.
I got to understand how the infrastructure of the
Oh,
company.
okay, got you.
You know what I mean? I see the marketing department. I see the retail department.
Okay.
I see the corporate sourcing department.
So everything that helped the building run, you saw.
Yeah, I see all these different departments, and I'm dropping off the mail to everybody, so everyone got to know me, and which was a good thing because now you got the design aspect, the product development design department, and so I'm dropping off mail there, and I'm looking at the stuff, and I've always been a creative person. I remember drawing shoes when I was in middle school, like sitting at my grandmother's kitchen table drawing shoes all the time, and I never thought I would have a career in it because I didn't know anyone who had a career in footwear design. You coming from the projects, how many shoe designers nobody, you know what I mean?
True.
So it was like, okay, someone's doing it, but I don't know.
You don't know who's doing it.
I don't know
There's
who.
no connection.
There's no form of connection. And so now I'm at 9 West, and I'm seeing this, and like I said, I was already in fashion. I was going to school for fashion merchandising. So put myself enrolled for FIT, started taking classes. And it was a hustle because literally, I had to. I'm living here in Stanford, but I had to leave work, go into Manhattan to go to school, be there till 9 o'clock at night, come back. By the time I get home, it's 10 o'clock in the morning, wake up the next day, and I had to go to work early in order for me to get out early.
So you just said 10 in the morning. You mean 10 at
No,
night? You got back 10 at night.
Yeah,
Okay, and then to wake up early in the
Then
morning.
wake up early in the
Do it
morning
over
to
again.
do it all over again. But I had worked it out with them. I let them know I was going to school. So they was like, listen, the day that you have to leave to go to school, you have to come in early. So I'm like, okay. So that's what I had to do. I had to get to work early, to leave early, to go to school.
So basically, you did what you had to do. You had to grind it out.
I grinded it out.
Gotta grind.
I grinded it out, and over time, I made my way into samples, product development, design,
Right.
and they recognized that I had talent. Like I became good friends with one of the head product development designers.
Okay.
I remember dropping the mail off to him. And I'm speaking to him, I'm like, oh, I like that shoe. That's, and I'm just talking to him. He's like, oh, you have an eye. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to school for this. He's like, oh, so what are you doing in the mailroom? You know what I mean? I'm like,
starting split spot.
Just doing what I have to do.
Exactly. Building block.
And so still to today, that was 96, 97. He's still like a good friend and mentor to me today,
Again, and find a mentor. True.
Yeah. And so years later, fast forward, I left 9 West. This was at a time when urban fashion was coming up and popping, and I was like, wait, where's the women's shoe line? Where's the Steve Madden for the inner city girls? They want to connect to somebody. They want to connect to a brand they feel like relates to them. You know what I mean? And there was none. This was before Baby Fat. You know what I mean? Like even when those brands came, they were clothing brands, right?
Right.
And then they kind of did some shoes, but they weren't a shoe brand or a shoe company. You know what I mean? So I was like, yo, there's a void missing. And I thought to myself, maybe that's my spot. Maybe that's what I'm supposed to do. I went through all this, maybe to be here. And so I took a leap of faith, and I left 9 West. And,
sometimes you just gotta take a leap of faith, man.
Yeah, and they didn't. They were kind of surprised, and they didn't expect it, because actually at the time they were kind of doing layoffs because they were merging with another company, Jones Apparel, something like Jones New York, and so people were getting laid off. I wasn't going to get laid off. They wanted me there, but I wanted to leave.
Were you nervous? Were you scared? Was there any kind of doubt?
Yeah.
Talk about that. I mean, how did you?
So overcome that? Anyone that's really close to me know I've always had a real strong relationship with God. Since I was 6. Since I was young, I've always had this relationship with God. So I always consulted, with God. No matter when I was doing bad, when I was doing good, I always
on that quiet spot.
I always, And so I never forget the day when I decided I was going to leave. I said, God, if this is what you want me to do, let me know, show me. Right. And it was like I heard a voice say, you never doubted me before.
Woman size 7.
Like you never doubted me before, so And so I went up and told my supervisor, listen, I'm leaving, And anyway, I left, and me and my mentor, I spoke to him, told him I really wanted to start this women's shoe line, and this was maybe 6-7 months before that. Before I left, I kind of spoke to him about it, but he gave me like, okay, what do you think about this? What about this? Like he would give me things to think about, and I would have to figure them out and answer it. Then I would tell him, okay, what about this? Think about that, figure it out. And that went on for maybe a year, and then he realized I really wanted to do it, And so
you showed improved.
I showed improved. He knew I was like a hustler. He knew I worked hard. I was disciplined. I was creative or whatever, and so he took a chance on me. He introduced me to some people from Brazil who made shoes. And I met up with them, spoke to them, told them the vision, blah blah blah, and so forth. And before you know it, I was making women's shoes. Started.
Tell us the crossover. How did it go from making women's shoes to this?
Okay, so from that point, I owned my brand. I owned the retail store, doing women's shoes.
Right here in
Norwalk.
In Norwalk,
yeah,
okay,
Norwalk,
nice.
Connecticut. And what happened was I was trying to build a retail business and a wholesale business. Meaning I was trying to build my brand and build a retail store at the same time.
Right.
And it was too much. Like I was burning the candle at both ends. So it kind of burned out, burned me out. And so after that, I just went and I worked for a footwear company, another footwear company on Long Island. And while I was working there, you know, a transition in my life, I became, you know, I was reading and trying to figure out some things, you know.
Yeah, you can talk about it, definitely.
So, okay, yeah, so basically I became Muslim. And with becoming Muslim, it made me realize that, listen, yeah, I'm Muslim, but I have friends that are Christians and Jews, you know what I'm saying, more so than, you know, at that time, than I knew people who were Muslim, you know. And so I was like, I felt almost like an obligation that I had to do something to unite us, you know. I've always been that type of person.
Gotcha.
Like I grew up in Stamford, Connecticut, where it's like you have the hood,
right,
and you have the super rich,
right,
right. And I came from the hood, and I knew everyone in the hood, but I also knew a lot of people who were rich. I was friends. Like I was like that middle. I was that middle guy. I hung, but everyone wasn't like that. Meaning everyone didn't hang
crossover
in high, you know, in high ridge, where all the money is, and didn't hang in the village where it wasn't. Like I was that dude who was like that. I would have parties. Yeah.
South Hill V.
South Hill, yeah. And so
Southwood now.
Southwood now. But as you know, you see what happened last week.
Yeah.
There ain't much change, you know.
Sad to say. Sad to say.
But so I came from that rough environment. But at the same time, I knew people who were in this other environment, and I was always like that bridge. I would have parties, and I would have people from High Ridge and people from the village. I was always that dude who
the gap,
the bridge,
the gap,
you know what I mean? So I realized that's the type of person I was, and
you
so
embraced it.
I embraced it, and I felt like that's maybe why he chose me to create this brand. You know what I mean? I've always been that person, you know.
Right.
And so, so what me actually starting a brand when I first started, it wasn't really a brand. It was a T-shirt concept. It was one T-shirt idea,
and that was it.
That was it.
Blossom.
And
where did I get this idea that you saw something somewhere on someone and it sparked something? Where did I get that from? What is that?
So this is the story. I was riding the train, I was riding the subway. Now, at this time I was living in the city, and I just became Muslim maybe 2 months. And I'm riding on the subway and I see a girl who's covered, you know, with her hijab, you know, her head is covered. So she's sitting across from me. And you know, it's all about modesty, like when you put them covering, you know, just like when you look at the Virgin Mary, if you look back at old times, you know, they covered. That's what it was about. It wasn't, you know, but now they have the stigma when they see, you know, Muslim women. But look at the Virgin Mary, look at her, see how she looked. You know what I'm saying? And so anyway, so she was sitting on the train, and I was sitting across from her. She had her head down, and 5 minutes went by, she had her head down, and I didn't really. At first I didn't think much, I just thought she was being modest, but then 10 minutes, and she just, like she wouldn't look up. And I was like, then I started to worry, like, is she like worried or afraid of something? Afraid of something? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so now I'm trying to feel her out and feel if something else is going on.
The energy.
In the cart, you know, from someone or something. You know what I mean? Like that's what I was trying to see. And I was hoping that she would look up and look at me so I could be like, you know, like peace sis. You know and she'd know she had someone there, you know. But for like 30 minutes on the train, she head down, she never looked up, she never looked at me. The train stopped, she got off and she left.
Maybe she was praying.
And no, she wasn't praying. No, she wasn't praying. And so I started to think a week prior to that, I don't know if you recall this, but they had this guy who's in Times Square who tried to set off a car bomb.
I think I remember that.
He was trying to set off a car bomb, and they caught him and they stopped him and they arrested him. So this was a week prior to that. And so what I noticed is whenever something like that happens, all of us carry the burden. You know what I'm saying? All of us, the fingers are pointed. You know what I mean? Because of a few extremists. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so I felt like that's probably what it was. She must have felt tension. No, not me, but just felt like people were, you know, that tension because of what just happened
from the world.
She's a little ashamed, maybe, or you know,
she don't want to be misjudged.
She doesn't want to be misjudged. And the thing is, like me, I can hide that I'm not hide, but you don't look at it and say,
oh, he's Muslim.
But, and even some other females, but when you see a girl with a hijab, you know she's Muslim. So she carries the burden even
twice as much as anybody else,
everyone,
right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But look, she still does it for her faith, you know.
So where did you get the name from?
And so I get to that.
Right.
So I went home that night, and I still was thinking about it. Cause literally, I'm gonna tell you how I felt. When I seen her, I felt like I seen a little kid who's lost, who's afraid. You know what I mean? And it made me feel sad that she had to be like that. You know what I mean? And couldn't just be who she was and feel okay. You know what I mean? It made me feel sad because now I'm Muslim. You know what I mean? And I'm like, her pain is like my pain. I feel for her. Okay. So I went home and I said to myself, God, I wish it was something I could have done to change that situation. And all of a sudden, the idea just popped into my head. It had, at the time, I Love New York t-shirts were kind of big. The I Heart said New York. And I came with the idea, I Heart, but it had New York, but in Arabic. And then small captions in English below. You see what and so I said to myself, if she was wearing that shirt, she could have sat up like
straight, more
like
confident.
This. Like, I feel the same way you feel about this place.
Wow.
Her shirt would have said that. She would have felt, more confident. You know what I mean? And that's how the idea came. So it was just a t-shirt concept. I love New York, but in Arabic. Okay. And I made it, and people liked it. And I did I Love Brooklyn, I Love Bronx, Harlem.
How many years is this going back now?
This was maybe 7 years now. Wow. 7, 8 years now, yeah.
And now you can find your clothing everywhere, all over the globe.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
Yeah. So coming from just that t-shirt, that one idea, and people buying it, I realized my thought was right. People want something to identify with that connects them to the rest of the people around them.
Regardless of who they are.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I realized, okay, people have the shirt, they're wearing it, but no one knows who it is.
Yeah.
Where they getting the t-shirt from. I had to brand it.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Because otherwise, it's just another t-shirt.
Right.
No one knows where it's coming from. I had to brand it. So I chose Inshallah because that was one of the first words that I learned, being Muslim. Because it means God willing.
There you go. Exactly. That's what I wanted to know right there.
It's an Arabic word that means God willing. And so we use it a lot because we use it for, we never say that we're going to do anything.
How do you pronounce it? Forgive me. Inshallah?
Inshallah.
Inshallah. Right. My first word, y'all. I'll let you boy. Yeah, inshallah. Okay.
Yeah, so I decided to use the word inshallah because I felt like that word, that term, is universal.
Right.
It's just all about you introducing it to people and letting them know what it means. You know what I mean? And then you could break down barriers.
Okay.
Once you present the word inshallah, what does that mean? It means God willing. Oh, okay. You know what I mean? You realize it doesn't mean that you're this faith or that faith or that faith. Right. It means you believe things happen by the will of God. Period.
Right.
That's the bridge. But just because I'm Muslim and I use it doesn't mean that it's a Muslim word. It's not a Muslim word.
Right. It's an Arab word.
It means God willing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so I felt like, in the beginning, and I think even that thinking and me doing it that way, I'm gonna tell you where it comes from. I'm dyslexic. So
I'm with you, brother.
They say that
me too.
Our minds work different.
A little backwards sometimes,
Not backwards.
Or skips. It's different, I think, levels.
I mean, different things. Like in reading, we may skip over stuff.
Yeah.
But we approach things differently,
right?
Because we take in things differently.
Okay.
So our approach is different. So this approach is right to the left. You know what I mean? It's not direct. It's to the left. You're like, it doesn't make sense until someone explains it to you.
You chop it up.
And then over time, then you're like, okay, I get it, but it's not a direct thing. It's a left. You know what I mean? Because that's how my mind works. But I believe that's cool because that's being creative.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
earlier today, right? We were chopping it up earlier today, and you mentioned actually one of my favorite groups, right? Smith and Wesson. I'm just gonna throw the name out there. you give me what's going on with that, right? Because I really want to know. So, when you bought a Smith & Wesson or whatever, right? You got some endeavors going on. Speak about 2 things we would like to know. Your endeavors that are coming up, right? And speak upon that right there within itself.
So, Smith & Wesson, a couple of years ago, someone reached out to me that followed me. It was like, listen, you know they're from Brooklyn, and I know if they seen your stuff, they will love it,
right.
you know? So she introduced them to the brand, and she was correct. They
love it.
So they hit me up, was like, yo, they wanted to get up with me, they wanted to get some stuff, this and that, and basically came through, got some stuff from me, and we've been building ever since. And they truly love what the meaning is, how I put it together,
right.
You know what I mean? And what the brand stands for. So they realize, you know, the relevance, you know, how it's, and them and a lot of people say this brand is needed.
It is. I would agree.
That's needed right now.
I would agree.
It may not. Some people may not be able to digest it right away,
right,
or easily, but it's needed right now. You know, and so that's what I felt.
Yeah.
But I also felt like, you know, we're creating the brand. When I decided to name it Inshallah, I said to myself, I have to. It's gonna take time. People are not gonna get it right away. They just
right.
not, you know what I mean? So it's gonna take time. First, it's got to get to the people who do get it, who do understand it, and when they start wearing it, right, and other people look into it and understand it, then they'll start wearing it, and then the stores will come, and then it will grow.
It'll grow.
And just like that, that's what's been happening, you know?
What would you like for more? The clothing, the shoes.
Honestly, what I've come to realize, this is my calling.
The clothing.
The shoes were just a platform. It taught me to understand, like I said, the infrastructure. I was able to travel, you know, different places in the world,
right.
Go to different footwear factories to understand manufacturing. So I understand how to get things manufactured, how to get things imported, how to market it, you know what I mean? That's all from that background.
Gotcha.
Now to take it back a little bit, because I wasn't sure if we really got what is the endeavor with
the future endeavors.
Yeah, the future endeavors.
So the future endeavor with Smith & Wesson and I. So they love the brand. They've been wearing it, and they have a new album coming out that was produced by Ninth Wonder. It's coming this January. It was like, listen, we love what you do. Can you do something, you know, for us?
Something special.
Something,
You got it planned out?
It's planned out.
You on it?
It's in the oven.
Yeah, ready.
And,
Nice.
Yeah, and it's
excited about it.
Yeah. It should be dope.
So let our viewers, our listeners know, how could they find you? I mean, obviously they could probably just Google Inshallah.
Google
but, you know.
Inshallah clothing, you're gonna find it.
Everything about
Instagram, Facebook, the website. That's all you gotta do. Just Google it.
Yeah, I'm sure that's
it,
popping up. Nice.
I'm realizing too, right? There's a lot of young ones out there who this is a path that they want to take. Right?
Absolutely.
So to them, right? To anybody that wants to achieve these goals, you know, some that you achieve, some that they want to exceed on their own. What advice would you give them? Something from, you know, your hardships and like the positive moments. If you give us one of each or whatever, but what advice would you really give them?
A lot of advice. One thing is, like I said earlier, a good mentor.
That always goes back to that. Get a mentor, people.
Can't do it on your own.
But also you gotta have determination. You gotta have faith. You gotta have patience. And I say that because if you don't got those things, you're gonna start, but you ain't gonna see it through. You're just not.
The minor hiccup can stop you.
The minute it gets tough, if you don't got faith, you're not gonna have patience. And you only get patience from faith. So if you don't have that, it's gonna get tough, and you're like, that's gonna be it.
Right.
You're not gonna do it, you know. And then also, your mentors, people that mentor people, look for people who have those qualities. Look for people who are dedicated, who are focused, hardworking, but also they see that they're really determined.
Because they taught you kind of like basically, right? Is that what you mean?
I just realized that because the only reason that guy, well not guy, I'm gonna say his name, John Cali at 9 West, he saw that I was really determined. I was really, he hit me with all these questions, I answered them. He hit me with more, I answered them. Hit me with more, I answered them. You know what I mean? And he see me going to school and working at the same time. I wasn't just saying it.
Hungry.
I was hungry.
I was hungry.
Yeah. And to speak to that point, a mentor or someone you might not even know will step in and lend some advice to you or whatever, or resource if they see that you are on that grind.
They ain't gonna get all that information.
Right. No, they're not. But
they
it's
see you.
something about, even for me, to be quite honest, if I see somebody come to me and say, I want to just do a photography or I want to do something, I'm like, okay, where's the evidence? You got a camera? Or they say I got a scribble, or they got this idea. Where's it written down on paper? I need to see it on paper.
Listen,
that's what most people are. They're looking to see. Are you putting in the work rather than just talking about it?
Exactly. What you said is key. Because listen, if you come to me and say, "Oh man, I want to do this. I plan to do that," what have you done so far? Oh, nothing. You don't want to do it.
Exactly.
Right.
So don't even talk to me about it. You don't want to do it. Because if you did, you would already have been doing it.
Yeah. Some people just need that start too. So just imagine if somebody came to you and was
believe me. My mentor didn't help me until he saw me really trying to do it.
You won't start.
I'm telling you.
You won't start.
I'm not, listen, if you come to me and you tell me I want to do this and that,
right,
and if I ask you what have you done so far and you tell me nothing, leave me alone.
Because even if it's sketches, even if it's like, yo, I got a book of sketches and ideas, that's a start. That's a start. You know what I mean?
Then leave me alone.
Yeah, no, I understand that thought, man.
Because everybody got an idea.
Yeah.
Everybody got an idea. But how many people take the initiative to start it?
It's that first step, man.
No, they have to do something.
They got first step. Some people don't want to take it. Some people don't know how. Some people don't know.
What you want me to help you do it? You want me to do that for you?
I don't know about that individual.
Like, you want me to hold your hand, not you. But I'm saying, that's how I look at people. No, you want someone who's gonna come in and hold your hand and guide you.
Can't do it.
No, can't do it.
No one
I got my own shit. Like,
no one who's a professional and at a certain level, they don't get there with, spending their time doing nothing. You know what I mean? Their time is valuable, just like anyone else's, but in order for you to become successful, for the most part, you gotta put the time. You gotta put the work in. You know what I mean? So if someone who's already successful don't see you putting in any work, why are they gonna waste their time giving you their advice?
Because if you don't value time, then you don't value your effort.
Time, which eventually equals money. So
So listen, man. You got anything else?
No, man. Is there anything else that you probably want to let the people know, or you know what I'm saying?
Again, how to find your clothes, how to find you.
They can find me on, they can find Inshallah Clothing, InshallahClothing.com.
Okay.
Instagram,
with a website.
Facebook,
I do have one final question though, because I was going to ask it earlier, and what does God's willing mean to you, particularly? In what sense? When you wake up, what does it mean for you?
I won't make it to the store unless He will.
God willing.
I won't make it to the corner if He doesn't will it. I won't have made it here if He doesn't will it. I could have planned all I wanted to. I could have been doing everything that was intended, and then the last minute,
right,
it just don't happen.
The Spanish culture, we got the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Or si Dios quiere. It's like if God wants to. Like it's like, yo, I'm gonna see you tomorrow, right? Si Dios quiere.
How about you ever heard of Ojalá?
Ojalá.
That derived from the word Inshallah itself. If you Google it, look at the origin, it came from Inshallah.
Okay. Wow.
From the Moors in Spain.
I used to say that quite a lot too back in the day. God's willing. I kind of stopped saying that.
Catch you later, yo. I used to
say that a lot, especially because I spent a lot of time growing up.
Right, that's what it is.
The younger generation,
I'm already looked at it like an old head.
No, they kind of disconnected, but this is my way of connecting
it. That bridge. That bridge.
Yeah, reconnecting them to that belief, that source.
Right. Well, time is really real. Time is real, and we don't want to take too much more of your time.
Right. Again, man, we thank you. We definitely wish you the best. All your endeavors, man.
And support.
And also, look out, I got a project coming out with Raekwon. He's opening up a store in Toronto, October 25th.
Okay.
And he reached out to me to do some collaborative pieces with that.
Nice.
So that stuff is in the oven. Smith & Wesson. And yeah, I think that's it right now. Yeah.
So we'll definitely do a follow up on that.
Yeah, follow him. He out in Brooklyn too, folks. Just
Definitely.
Brooklyn. Yeah, you see me in Brooklyn. Go to the bodegas, you see the brothers, right? Yeah.
Again, man. Once again, we thank you for joining us. Thank you for having us again. And good.
Okay. We'll see y'all soon, inshallah.
Inshallah. God willing, brother.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
Yes, sir.